Hello, this is Tyler Beamer, math instructor at Haywood Community College. This is an instructional video to show students how to navigate MyMathLab, complete assignments on MyMathLab, and use all of the available resources that MyMathLab offers. MyMathLab is the vehicle that we will use to complete homework assignments, quizzes, and tests, both midterm and final exam in the course. Therefore, I want you to be able to navigate it successfully and use all of those resources so that you can be successful in this class. MyMathLab is a web-based program, so as long as you have a computer and internet, MyMathLab should work. If you do have issues with MyMathLab, I have identified the student support number on the syllabus. It's highlighted on the first page. I'll also give it to you again. It's 1-800-677-6337. So I would encourage you to contact MyMathLab customer support if you do have issues running MyMathLab on your computer. I'm more than welcome to take a look at your computer and try to help you resolve those issues, but if you're a distant student, sometimes that can be difficult. Identifying, troubleshooting the issues you have if I can't actually be at the computer. And the customer support that MyMathLab offers is really good at that, so they might be your better option to call them. Alright, so this math video will be a generalizable video for all math courses. Obviously if you take a different math course here at Haywood, the content will change, but how you navigate MyMathLab will not. So this video serves purposes for lots of different math courses here. So the first thing you'd want to do is go to www.mymathlab.com. That takes you to the home screen. And I'm going to work under the assumption that you've already registered for MyMathLab and you've already registered for our course. The detailed instructions for doing so are on Moodle, so you'd want to do that first, and then you will create a username and password. You will use that to sign into the course. Make sure you know what it is. Make sure you write it down. I do not have access to that information, so if you lose it, you have to call that customer support number and figure out what that is. So obviously I'm having issues logging in, so you want to make sure that you have that information available to you. Alright, so your screen should look very similar to mine. I am an instructor, so it's going to be slightly different in some aspects, but most aspects will be the same. This course home screen, you want to select active for the courses that you're taking, that you're enrolled in. I have a lot of courses here because I'm teaching lots of courses. You will more than likely just see one course. Inactive courses are courses that you've taken in the past that you don't take now, and then of course if you have some announcements from MyMathLab, you can check those. There could be some scheduled maintenance or whatnot, so that's how you can navigate this home screen. So I'm going to work off a Math 143 course just to show you how to navigate MyMathLab. If you're not in Math 143, how to navigate MyMathLab isn't going to change. Okay. So MyMathLab is navigated by these tabs over here on the left. So once you click on the course, and the first tab is Course Home. The Course Home screen identifies announcements. So like if class is canceled or assignments change or so on and so forth, I would post an announcement there so that you can see that hopefully in time to make whatever changes necessary. So that's something you'd want to check on the Course Home. There's also a calendar here which would have icons showing what's due, when things are due. Identified here like a little clock saying, hey, these things are due. This is how much time you have to work on those assignments. If you click on View All Assignments, then it will show you all of those. This is kind of a orientation course that I've created, so I don't have everything open, just specific ones just to show you. Obviously, once if this was a real course, then there'd be more assignments shown, but that's how you can see those. If you click on the course syllabus tab and then course syllabus, you can see the syllabus for this course. Same syllabus that's on Moodle, so you also have an electronic copy on MyMathLab. Pacing guides also on here. This identifies the due dates for assignments, so you want to make sure that you have access to that so you can check it. Okay, that pacing guide's also on Moodle as well. LSS tutoring schedule, this gets updated every semester. I have yet to update it for the fall because I don't have that information yet, but I will. I highly encourage you to visit the LSS if you have issues with the course in terms of learning the content. You can always come to my office hours and get help, but this tutoring that's offered at the LSS is very helpful as well. It is 100% free, and it's a drop-in appointment, so you can just show up and someone will be there to help you. So I would encourage you to take advantage of that. And I will be updating this. This is outdated. If you click on homework, your homework assignments will show. So this is a example here. A homework assignment, you've got the due date, so you know when it's due. You got your score once you start working on it. So if you click on the homework assignment, all of the questions for that homework assignment will open. Click on a question, and the problem will pop up. You have the problem here. You click on the answer box and you can put in your answers. You can use these tools here to put in fractions, mixed numbers, absolute values, radicals, ordered pairs, exponents, so on and so forth. So that's helpful. If you have questions about how to complete this particular problem, you can click on question help, and you've got a plethora of resources that MyMathLab has to kind of walk you through the problem. If you click on help me solve this, it'll basically walk you through how to do a problem similar, so that you can learn how to do it. And of course you'll have the course notes that I post to Moodle as well, and please use those as a guide when working through your problems. View an example. We'll once again walk you through an example similar. That way you can learn how to do it and then complete the problem successfully. So that's helpful. Sometimes problems have videos. You want to make sure your pop-up blocker allows it. And you can watch a video on how to complete this particular type of problem. So you can see this is very comparable to face-to-face help that you would get if you're a distant student. So this is helpful. It's also helpful even if you are in a face-to-face section. So those are helpful. With MyMathLab, you have the ebook, which is the electronic book. So if you click on the ebook, then it will take you to that book, and it will take you to the exact chapter and section that you are working on. And so you can use the textbook as a guide. It's got examples, lots of different problems to take a look at to kind of help you out. So you can click your way through it, and that's very helpful. So I'd encourage you to use that. Ask My Instructor sends me an email, so if you are stuck and you need help, you can use that. You only need to click it once. If you click it 50 times, it sends me 50 emails, so please don't do that. So, and give me as much information as possible so that I can help you as much as I can. So as much detail as you can give, that's very appreciative. That allows me to answer your question the best I can. Okay. and of course you could print the problem if you needed to do that. So those are all of the resources that you can use for your homework to help you complete these problems. You've got the course notes that I post to Moodle. I hope you're using those. I will also post some lecture videos to Moodle as well, so you can use those. But you also have all of these resources through MyMathLab. That's one of the main reasons why we use MyMathLab, is that you have these resources to help you. So I would encourage you to do that. Okay. All right, so that's homework problems. If you click on quizzes and tests, this is where your quizzes and tests will populate. You have 1 or 2 quizzes every chapter. It just kind of depends on what chapter. Notice you've got the due date once again for the quizzes. Quizzes do have time limits. That way you're forced to work on the quiz all in one sitting. Of course, well, you can actually save the quiz for later. You could work on a little bit of the quiz and save it for later and come back to it and work on it some more. But it'll keep track of your time, but you will have this amount of time to work on the quiz. So keep that in mind. And I give 2 attempts on the quiz, so you will have 2 attempts to work on the quiz. If you open up the quiz, it'll give you the information about how much time you have, when it's due, start it. Quizzes are like quizzes in terms of this is testing your knowledge. So you do not have all of the help me solve this resources for quizzes. So you want to complete the homework assignments first, make sure you're good with all that material, and then work on the quizzes. This is me assessing your ability to work on this content. Here's the save for later button. So if I wanted to save it for later, I could answer in the answer boxes. And then if I wanted to save for later, I could save it. It will pick you up where you left off. So if I just did number 2, when I save for later, I'll be on number 3. So I can't go backwards in the quiz. So that's how you can save for later. And then of course when you're done with all the questions, you can submit it. Here's the timer, so it's timing the quiz. So I'm just going to submit this. Just so you can see what you get here. You get a review page, and then you can review the quiz after you submit it. You can also review the quiz in Gradebook, which I will show you here in just a minute. But when you review it, it gives you the right answer. If you put your mouse over it or click on it, it'll give you your answer. And then you can get answer feedback. You also have all of these tools available to help me solve this and whatnot when you review the quiz. So the idea is that you take the quiz for the first time, and then you review it, figure out all the mistakes, and then take the quiz the second time and do much better. And the better of the 2 scores is kept. So that's why I give you 2 attempts. So I would encourage you to use both attempts on these quizzes. It's a great way to not only learn the material but also help your grade. So, all right, and then your test will be the midterm and final if you're in the online class, and also face-to-face. These are password protected, so you have to. If you're a distance student, you will take your midterm and final at the LSS testing center. That way, it's proctored, and they will have the password to access this. If you're a face-to-face student, obviously you'll take the proctored test in class. So. Okay, and there are instructions in the syllabus about how to, schedule a proctored test in the LSS. I will also send multiple emails out reminding people when it gets closer to that time, so that you can complete those proctored tests in the LSS. Okay. All right. If you click on Gradebook, you will see the results of your work in the course. You can also, click on the assignment. Make sure your pop-ups allow it. And you can review the assignment. So you click on it, and you can get back in that review mode and review the work. So you can review any assignment at any time in the gradebook. So Like I said, you want to make sure you review it and use both of those attempts. Okay. All right. Chapter contents. This is how you can access the ebook and all of the resources. So I'm just going to go to chapter 3 since that's what we were just on. If you click on 3A, you can watch the lecture video for this particular section. If you're a distant student, I highly encourage you to watch the lecture video. This gives you, instruction on these particular topics. This substitutes for the lecture if you're an online student. If you're a face-to-face student, you obviously will get lecture in class, but if you want to supplement that lecture, you could watch these videos as well. Okay. So I encourage you to watch the lecture videos for every section and take notes if you're a distant student. Multimedia e-text will take you back to the textbook, which I just showed you earlier. And you want to read the textbook and make notes as well if you're a distant student, or even face-to-face. That's always a good thing to do. You can navigate through chapters and sections here in this menu over here on the left. Okay. And it'll say work in study plan. I do not assign anything in study plan. Study plan is basically extra problems that you can do. So if you could get through with all of the problems that that I assign, and you want to do more for extra practice, you can work in the study plan. So that's up to you. So chapter contents is where you'll find a lot of resources for each of the specific chapters and sections. I encourage you to use all of these resources, especially if you're an online student. You're not going to get face-to-face lecture. These lecture videos provide a substitute for that, so I would encourage you to use those. Okay, and you can see you go through each of the chapters and sections, and you can click on those to utilize those resources. So I click back to the main menu. Student success. I don't really use a lot of the things in here. If you wanted, this is extra things. If you wanted to take a look at that, I don't assign any of that. Tools for success, I don't assign anything in it either, but I just leave it open. You paid for the MyMathLab, so if you want to use these resources, you can. Multimedia library is a way that you can basically access all of the resources that MyMathLab gives you, and I just usually select the chapter and select all, and then basically everything will pop up that's available. You've got the multimedia textbook, you've got PowerPoints, so if you wanted to open up the PowerPoints, those are more resources that you could utilize to help you out in terms of learning material for the courses. And they basically walk you through examples, problems. Those can be helpful for you. Section lecture videos, those are the lecture videos. You want to watch those. Once again, if you're an online student, that's a substitute for the lecture. And then you also have some of these example videos, which will just walk you through different examples of different types of problems, basically just someone working it out for you on a video. So if you get to a problem about index numbers and you need help with it, you can click on that and watch the video, and that'll help you out. So there's lots of resources there available for you. I highly encourage you to use those, especially if you're a distant student. You'll have already purchased the MyMathLab. The tutoring services through Pearson, I don't use those. You'll have to look at that with Pearson. And then the study plan, once again, I do not do anything with the study plan. That's all extra. Okay, so hopefully this will help you to navigate MyMathLab, to use all of the resources that's available on MyMathLab. If you do have any questions about using MyMathLab, please email me. My email is tbeamer, tbeamer at haywood.edu. Sorry, so tbeamer at haywood.edu. My office phone number is 828-565-4230. So please contact me, and I can certainly do everything I can to answer your questions in terms of using MyMathLab. It's extremely important that you know how to use it, since that's where we will do all of our assignments. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you have a great semester, and as always, I'm here to help out. So just please reach out. All right. Have a great day.